what do you think about J. Cole taking an early exit?
It's none of my business. It's none of my business. Yeah, he did what he felt was best for himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did what he thought was best. You know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's very much in line with his character in terms of who he is as a person.
Yeah, and I think that when you see, honestly, when you think about it, though, if you look at the history of it, Drake and Kendrick have always had a back and forth. J. Cole and Kendrick never had like no real nothing.
J. Cole and I think there's even a chapter there where J. Cole got in a fist fight with Puff over Kendrick, over something having to do with Kendrick. So
I don't think, I feel like it's like a situation where you be like, we don't have any real problems. So why am I doing this with you? Whereas like those two had, like, Drake and Kendrick had like this underlying thing for quite some time.
Okay, I could see that. Now, this new controversy.
Oh my God.
Should Lil Wayne have been selected to perform at the Super
Bowl? I feel like sure, it's New Orleans. Like right. Like I feel like it'd have been cool. But I'm also not mad about Kendrick getting it either. Kendrick's he's a great performer. Like, people talk about him as a rapper, he's a great lyricist, but that man is a great performer, entertainer. Like, I saw Kendrick when he opened for Trey Songz for his first album at Opera in Atlanta. And then I saw him on his tour in Amsterdam for the Morales and the Big Steppers tour. That show was incredible. It was dancers, stage setup, lighting, breath control, crowd control, routines, placement. Like, it was a great show. He's a great entertainer. So, and we saw a clip of him during the LA one. And he was great there. So it's like, I could only imagine how fire it would be when Kendrick does it. You know what I mean? But so that part I'm not mad about, but I get why people would want Wayne to do it because it's in New Orleans. So I get that.
I understand that. However, my thing is, when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, nobody didn't have the same energy.
That's not true. It's not true. That is not true. When they had Maroon 5 do it,
yeah,
that's not true. No, so that people were definitely upset about that, and I am people.
Not to the degree that I'm seeing
I think
now.
Because I think also too, I feel like social media is just a lot louder now too.
Okay.
So I feel like it's just a lot louder, a lot more voices, a lot more volume to the. Whenever it's something contentious, there's a lot more volume with it. But people are mad about, because people are like, why didn't JD do,
I was one of those people.
Yeah, why didn't he? You know what I'm saying? But I think people go, oh, well, in LA, they had Dre do it. I was like, yeah, but that's like one off of, the person from the place. Because when they were in New Orleans last time, it was Beyonce.
Right, exactly.
So.
And, I think the other part of it, fan or not, and I want to be very clear. I am a Wayne fan, right? But let's be honest. Some of the public presentations that Wayne has made, I think kind of factored into that. He had a major interview on a major network where he kind of crashed out and said, I gangbang, and pulled out a rag. So I think
it's still the NFL.
Yeah, I think that there's certain things, that kind of come into play with that. I think things like that, certainly, at the end of the day, I often think that although people of our culture are placed in certain positions, we automatically assume that they have way more power than they actually have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the only way someone can ever have absolute power of anything is through ownership.
Yeah.
If you don't own it, you're answering to somebody.
Yeah, it's a position that you have.
Yeah, it's a position.
It's a position.
It's a position. You're still answering to the person that put you in that position. Mm-hmm. So you may come with certain things and you may whatever, but at the end of the day,
the final say so. The final
say is somebody else. And when you're in that situation, you also are protecting your position. So before you go for final approval, you're also trying to figure out what's not going to get vetoed, right? So I think, that plays a big part into it.
True.
Now, how do you, going back to kind of like the creator's economy, right? Certainly the business that you're in right now is a very different business than I was in.
Absolutely.
Financially.
Absolutely.
Right? Listen, I'm still on the outside looking in at this point, trying to figure out, how do artists get paid? You know what I mean? Because we used to complain about how the royalty structure was back then, but you know, I'm seeing. I think what first caught my attention was when Pharrell did billions and billions of streams of Happy, and he said his first check was like 6,000. You know, so I'm like, and now the talk of these 360 deals and you know, so what's your position? Independent or major?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm independent. And I appreciate obviously independence because you can do what you want to do and drop what you want to drop. You know, however, investment. You know, I've seen how major deals just work out because I've seen what you guys have done over these and what it can do for you. Just the platform of it. Obviously, in a perfect world, it would be like a partnership or kind of that thing. But you have to hustle. You know, and I think with the pandemic, it also showed you gotta hustle. You gotta do gigs. If you gotta, you know what I'm saying, have a job. If you have to have just other sources of income. You know what I mean? I gig through driving, through mobile notary, through performing with a band, you know what I'm saying, doing corporate events, like, you know, and then I get residuals here from like Distro Kids. And I'll get like a residual check from Patreon, and I'll get a check from like BMI for performing, you know what I'm saying? You know, then these little checks come in here and there throughout the year, but you have to hustle. You gotta hustle. Especially as it's a business. This is my business. You got to invest in yourself. You got to, you know, throwing my event every year isn't free. You know what I mean? Like, you have to still set up avenues to go, okay, well, my audience may not have this. So let's say, okay, this year it was like we made it more fundraisers. So you donated. Admission was donation. You know, at the bar, I made sure that drinks weren't any more than $8. So it's curated cocktails. So it gives it a feeling, but also you get to have a good time and enjoy yourself in a good space. That way, like, we're making money, but then also, you know, it's hard out here for people. You know, just to be able to go out and do anything extra is extra, you know? So you do things like, okay, if you spend $10 to get in, you get a commemorative cup for the event. You know, just, you have to figure out ways to get to it because the grind don't stop, the bills don't stop. You got to get to it.
Independence is entrepreneurship.
You
know, but you know, whenever I talk to young artists, it is a lot more work, but and a lot more risk. But obviously, guess what? That's business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The more risk, more rewards.
Yeah, for sure.
And I am looking at, you have folks out here independently that are making a lot of money.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you ever had an opportunity to look at what Ryan Leslie is doing. Tech9. Tech9 makes
millions, a lot of money. Yeah.
Millions and millions a year.
Yeah.
So they're examples, right? They're examples. When it comes to business, we always say, if you're looking for success, follow the breadcrumbs, okay? Because there's always breadcrumbs that were left behind. So you just have to kind of look and see what others are doing that are being successful at it.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I was kind of looking over your entire thing in terms of where you are right now. I think creatively, you have a great lane, okay? You have great music. Kind of looking at everything else that's going on and what I'm seeing, you know, if I may, can I say something?
Yes.
If I may, the only thing that I didn't really see that I think eventually you're going to have to kind of put in place is a robust social media management.
Yes.
Okay? Because those are your tentacles.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. That are going to reach out globally. Okay? And kind of, you know, you have been in a lot of places in a lot of situations, but I think with a robust social media machine,
right,
you're going to see a greater thrust in a shorter amount of time, right?
Absolutely.
And as a performer, I you know, in my opinion, I feel like it's almost easier independently for a performer than it is for someone that is not a performer. That's just dependent on the music, right? Because, you know, when I look at some of the greatest campaigns that I've ever seen put together, even when a major was involved, it was the performances that still spoke the loudest, right? That reverberated. Right. I mean, and I've seen some of the best up close and personal, some of the best pop campaigns in recent history, like NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys, and you know, those were way performance driven before it ever became a radio thing. Right. I mean, these guys were in places like Germany, all through Europe, tearing it down. Right. And would come back to America and no one would know who
crickets,
they were. Yeah. Right? But, you know, they couldn't over there. So as a performer, you'll always have a place. Yeah. You know, you look at Billy Crawford, for example, an artist that, you know, I have certainly had a hand. You know, he never sold a ton of records, but the guy's a star. It's undeniable. Through his performances, people were able to see that. Through that, he got movie opportunities. He went back to his home country, and he's a humongous star there. Right. And still extremely buzzworthy in some parts of Europe. So whereas you don't have to be dependent on it's a different age.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's a different age. And I think that visually, in my opinion, I've always felt it's the performances that allow the audience to fall in love with you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's they can hear you.
Yeah.
And the song could be hot.
Yeah.
Right? But that burns out after a while.
Yeah, the performance really drives it home.
Yeah.
For sure.
You take an artist like Maxwell, right? I saw Maxwell early, before the music even got to radio. Yeah. And I remember coming out of that showcase and everybody was just like, it was chatter. Right. D'Angelo, same thing. Yeah. So, you know, beyond it opens them up for what's to come, even when they didn't hear the music.
Right. Right.
You know, so I think you have a great thing there as a performer. I would love to kind of see more of a robust social media campaign from you in the future. You know,
I agree with that. That's more so like that would be my major thing. Because I feel like I know the product is there, the lane is there, the whole like the music, the look, the performance like is just that one little like you know what I mean? Because I have a catalog. Nobody looks like me. Nobody sounds like me. Yeah. And it's not a situation where like, oh, it's nobody sounds like you, but it's also bad. Like, no, it's actually good work. It's actually good music. It's actually like, you know, it is just that backing, that back little push there.
Yeah, I would say, you know, be open to collaboration. Be open to foreign collaboration.
Absolutely.
Be open to brand collaboration. Yeah. Right? And you know, certainly.
Shout out to my brother Nigeria Super Tunes. We got a song called Shorty and Hello Bay on all streaming platforms. And then my boy Cryptic Rhythms in Scotland. We have a song coming out soon. So yeah, I definitely do collaborate with other artists in other countries. Just want that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now we gotta, you know, you gotta kind of get with some brands too.
Yes.
You know, because you have a look and a vibe. You know what I mean? So you know, you should be able to sell some products. And I was just talking about that. I was talking about ASAP Rocky, and somebody was like, "Oh, well, nothing started until he started dating her." I was like, "That's not true. That's not true.
That is not true at all."
Right. The man was he already had like some brand alliances.
Yeah, for sure.
He was doing his thing.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Be Pain Free Global. I'm an ambassador for them. They specialize in medicinal cannabis things. So, you know, shout out to Be Pain Free Global. You know, I'm an ambassador. Holla at your boy.
That's what's up. Well, yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for coming out for me today.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for having me.
You know, definitely. All right, so we're going to do some fun stuff right now. I want to hear, you know, get a little bit more personal, so to speak.
Okay.
This
is scary. I'm not saying
not too personal.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Not too personal.
Thank you.
So tell me, what are you watching right now?
I am watching right now. I only watch comedies and documentaries.
Okay.
Empower. So I just started watching Veep.
Okay.
I'm about to start rewatching Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I got to finish Power, and I am watching Abbott Elementary. That starts back tomorrow night, Wednesdays. Let's start back. Shout out to Jordan, the homie. He's a writer on the show.
Okay. I haven't watched that yet.
Abbott Elementary is hilarious, and I've been watching How to Die Alone with Natasha. God, I can't remember her last name, but she was on Insecure. She's a black lady. The heaviest set friend, Kelly. She was on Insecure.
Okay.
She has her own show on FX. It's pretty funny. I like comedies. I just want to laugh. Life is crazy as hell, so I just want to laugh and enjoy that. And I'm about to start watching that. Starting 5 on Netflix with LeBron, like the ball players.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts this week too. So yeah.
I don't think we watching nothing, man.
Now, mind you, this list has been long for quite some time. So I haven't actually started Game of Thrones back then, but Veep has been watching me a little bit. But you know, yeah.
Well, Game of Thrones. I'm a Game of Thrones guy. You know, I've watched all of them.
Yeah.
You know, even the latest one.
House of Dragon.
Yeah, House of Dragon.
They pissed me off how they ended this season. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I also watched Shogun. Japanese show on FX.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. They like based like they were. It's like how Christianity came to Tokyo, or not Tokyo, Osaka.
I've been to Osaka.
Oh, I haven't been. I've been to Tokyo. I haven't been to Osaka before.
Okay, I haven't been to Tokyo, but I've been to Osaka.
Okay.
I've been to came in contact with the Yakuza out there. We exchanged greetings.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because Shogun, it was like a Shogun is like a certain kind of warrior. But when you think about Shogun, it's like a bunch of hibachi spots.
Nah, Shogun is a very serious warrior.
Yeah, didn't know.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, there was also a black Shogun too.
Really?
I want to say his name was Yasuki.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask Shane.
Yeah. I'm sure. All right. So what are you reading right now?
What am I reading?
I'm a serious reader, so I'm always.
All right. So I have been slipping on my reading, but in the last year, I read 50 Cent's. It's on my Audibles. 50 Cent's most recent book.
That was a good book, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good book.
I'm telling you, man. Like
that was a good book.
Anybody that's sleeping on that book, don't sleep.
That was a good book.
Yeah, that book got some gems.
That was a good book. I read Fat Joe's book.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
I read Will Smith's book.
Didn't read that one.
I read Lenny Kravitz's book, Let Love Rule, and then I
need to though. You know, his mom went to Howard.
She did. Did
Absolutely.
She? Oh well, look at that. And she's West Indian.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I always support Lenny.
Yeah, for sure. He's like one. Like to me, Lenny's like I'm definitely fruit from Lenny's tree. There's people that are a part of like the genetic code of Rizzo G.U.N, and Lenny's definitely a part of that for sure.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
For sure.
I can see that. Yeah, Lenny, man, is
he's a Caribbean American too, so you know.
Not aging.
No, that's the part of the goal. I don't listen.
Whatever Lenny's diet is.
Listen, I
want whatever Lenny's having, man.
He's on a fruit diet. That's it.
Is that what it is?
He don't eat raw food. He's off the land. He like Khalees.
Well, listen, I know he's not eating what I'm eating. That I do know.
Me too. Me too.
Oh my gosh. And what are you listening to right now?
So yeah, just I listen right now, Future's album, Victoria Monet's new project, and my new project, Rosetta Stoned.
Okay.
That's out right now on all streaming platforms. I'm listening to that a lot because it's the most current music that I put out. Really fun music, early like more worldly music. Dance, I call it like the dark dance. Like it feels like you're out at night having a good time with some people, and you know you just want to have a good time, getting in some trouble a little bit, but good trouble. Good trouble. Yeah.
Not the one that gets you arrested.
No. Almost arrested, but not. Maybe get close to it, but you're like, nah. Yeah.
Okay. So one question I didn't ask you: who are your top 3 favorite music producers?
Pharrell is one for sure. Timbaland, and it's a toss-up for the third one because like the third one is a tie, and it's a tie because. Again, they're people who are condemned right now, but like Puff and Kanye.
Okay.
I would put them on one together, even though they're both 2 different kind of producers. And I would give Pharrell one, and I would give Timbaland one.
Okay.
Honorable mentions are Dr. Dre, are Roddy Jerkins, those classic guys, Just Blaze. What's my boy name? Max Martin. Those guys. You know, I like Diplo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some serious
heavy hitters.
Those are heavy hitters. I've seen a couple of them work up close and personal, and those are some dynamic, super creative guys.
And still to this day,
still to this day,
Pharrell especially and Timbaland especially, like those guys, like Pharrell especially to be able to cultivate that kind of career, and with Neptunes, without Neptunes, like. Symphonies and orchestrating, and John Baptiste.
Okay.
John Baptiste I watched his documentary.
Okay.
He is fire. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. You know, for Pharrell, back to Pharrell, just as a curator of culture, you know, same with Kanye, you know, and I know sometimes now with Kanye, people are, you know, a little anti-Kanye, but sometimes, you know, people have to realize sometimes with genius comes a little, you know, you're a little off because your ideas, and it's not even that you're off. Sometimes your ideas are people can't really see what you see at a particular point in time. And something that may seem a little far-fetched today, you may look back in the future and realize,
Right. Right.
Wasn't that far off?
Right. That's a fact.
You know, so that is part of genius. All right, so we're gonna get into something like real quick, a little thing that I like to do. I call it this or that, right? Or you know, it's kind of like along the lines of would you rather.
Okay.
But I call it on this show. We call it this or that.
You can go with this. Or you can go with that.
Right.
Okay. Got you.
So this, would you rather lose all your money that you earned this year, right? Or that lose all your memories?
That was easy for me. I'd rather lose my money. My memories are, I was just telling a friend today, I was like, God, with this whole hurricane talk and stuff like that, I was like, God forbid someone happen like that here, like really hit for real. All I would carry is like my laptop and my hard drive and like certain jewelry from people that I got, you know, and my guns. Other than that, like I wouldn't really care about nothing because you can get things back. You can't get your memories back, especially if you actually lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I completely, in my opinion, I feel like memories are really the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Right? Because when you look back at a lifetime, and I've never been near death, I've not, you know, thank God, but I imagine that in those moments, I've had some great memories.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the thing. I'm going to kind of think of those memories and I'm going to smile.
Right.
All right, because I have lived.
Right.
So I kind of feel like even for the people that you lose, if you think about it, you know, the most cherished thing that you have are the memories, the times that you shared with those people.
Right.
So it's always going to be memories over money.
Right, for sure.
You know, you'll make money.
Exactly.
You know, okay, you lose your sense of taste or you go blind.
Oh my God, that is extreme. That is extreme. That is terrible, especially for me who likes to eat food all the time. Oh my.
It is extreme. You got to pick one.
I gotta lose my
and say why.
I lose my taste, which just sucks. But like, you gotta see. If I can't see, like, nah. My quality of life is super diminished. Like, yeah, my quality of life. If I can't taste them, I just eat more stuff that's trash. But if I can't see, I can't see. So bye taste.
Exactly. Taste gotta go.
Right.
All right. So here's another one. It gets a little bit more difficult.
Oh my God. Okay.
This blindness.
Why is blindness back in the equation?
That deaf.
Deaf? Like I can't hear? Oh my God. What kind of this is? You know, there's a power in the tongue. I don't even know why you even have these kind of this or that. Blindness because or deaf?
This is the reason why I choose to kind of even have this section on my show, ask these questions. And you know this. I've always said, you've heard me say it quite a few times throughout your life. Life is about decisions.
Yeah.
It's a series of decisions. Some of them are incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But we always have to make one.
Right.
And we have to be clear as to why we're making that decision.
I have to lose my sight.
Okay. Why?
Music. I've seen music, but my friend's mom recently passed and she had Alzheimer's for many years. And two things she could remember was her daughter's face. She even questioned her husband sometimes, and then Stevie Wonder. My great grandmother was blind. You could hear though. Her hearing was top tier. She still was able to function. You know what I'm saying? So music just does something to me and my spirit. When I'm down, it makes me feel better. When I'm, you know, it takes you back to certain times of your life and it makes you feel like a certain space. You could be super old and you know, and I see it in my daughter. Like she listens to Bobby Caldwell, and she's just like eyes closed and singing it and knocking her head back and just really jamming to it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, so I would say my sight begrudgingly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in my opinion, I think music is one of the most powerful things that God ever gave to man, right? And the reason I say that, music influences everything.
Absolutely.
Okay? It influences mood, you know, art in general. If you look at the world, which a lot of people aren't necessarily paying attention to the finite anymore, right? A lot of the problems that we have now can be traced to art in general. We came out of the Dark Ages, if people pay attention to history, because you had a Renaissance, right? This last era, basically, we've taken art out of schools, we've taken music out of schools, and you know, it's always been said that
shout out to the right.
Yeah, music. You know, music calms the beast. So now you had generations of kids that grew up with no connection to music, no whatever, and then on top of it, the music that they choose to make is crazy.
Very low.
You know what I mean? But it's low vibrational, but music also influences action. And so the low vibrational music that started being made started influencing certain actions.
Absolutely.
And so we have gotten certain results.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think that's a great shot. You know, I think you made a good choice.
Thank you.
Okay, this. Would you rather read minds or that? Control minds.
Control mind, nigga. I'd rather control minds. No, I don't know. Now what that's so if I control your mind, can I not read it?
Not necessarily.
Okay, well,
right? Because you don't necessarily
I'd rather
have
control.
to. Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
I'd rather control your mind.
But you just want to have control, so you can, you know.
I'd rather control your mind. Just on something like to read your mind is just stressful for me. People's minds are really. My mind is. I barely want to deal with my mind sometimes. So to read somebody else shit is like going into your house and not knowing if you got roaches or not, or how you clean your chicken and whatever the case may be. So I'd rather control your mind.
Yeah, I think you could do more good.
Yeah, for sure.
With controlling somebody's mind. I mean, what if you're reading a mind and it's just horrific? There's all kinds of, you know, just the darkest things going on. There's nothing you can do with that.
You just know about it.
You just know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm
control that mind for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, one of my favorite this respect or that loyalty, and why?
You better respect me. You gotta respect me. I need respect. I think that people could be loyal to you. Loyalty is very important, right? But I feel like sometimes like blind loyalty sometimes can be at your detriment. I think respect is a certain kind of like, you know how to come to me correctly, you know how to handle me correctly. Like respect is really important to me, because once respect is lost, it's like I can't even function dealing with in that kind of situation. So I would say respect. I wouldn't say loyalty. I would say loyalty is great, but I would go for respect.
Okay. Yeah, you know, loyalty is a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. Huge thing for me. Mm-hmm. But from living life, I think that it's impossible to have true loyalty without respect.
Right.
Okay? Because somebody could catch themselves saying that they're being loyal to you, but then still be disrespectful, you know, in the most callous of ways. Mm-hmm. So the respect has to be, you know, paramount. And I think if the respect is paramount and where it's supposed to be, then the loyalty will fall in place anyway. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So, that's kind of where I stand with it.
Yeah, they didn't say money, power, loyalty. They said money, power, respect.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that you brought that up. Do you think or do you feel that part of or a summation of the issues that we're having in society right now is because people made money their God?
Yes, absolutely.
In what way?
Because if you're only going for the money, you'll do all types of things without care, reckless abandon to get money. You know, it doesn't matter. Like you said earlier, like, you know, nobody could ever say you stole from them or took their publishing, blah, blah, blah. It's like there's a certain kind of value. Like, you know, money's important for sure. The world runs on it. But at what expense? At what cost? What is a no-go? What is like your limit? If it's just about money, you're going to be lawless.
Yeah, I think society's at a weird place just in terms of listening to conversations sometimes, just in terms of how people see money, right? Like we talk about, we kind of brushed on the Drake-Kendrick beef earlier, and I saw so many people turn it into a money thing.
He got more money.
Yeah, and that seems to be the answer or the defensive answer for everything.
Right.
Somebody supposedly is automatically better than the other person because, you got more money than him, right? I'm like, what does that have to do with it? We're talking about a craft. We're talking about, you know, whether, you know, but it's like, you got more. So it all comes down to the money.
Right.
And I think it's permeated our society so much that I think it's comical. When I see social media posts of I don't want any broke ninjas. I'm like,
hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. I recently said a thing on TikTok. Rizzo was here on TikTok. RIZZOWASHERE. I said, I don't like how, or when did we start replacing the N-word for ninja? Isn't that like offensive to ninjas? People who became actual ninjas and went to train to be ninjas, right? You just calling people ninjas. I was like, that's appropriation. And so, just saying.
That might be so, and we're gonna be in a lot of trouble if those ninjas start striking back.
Nah, I'm weak. I don't say I like the N-word. I don't say ninja, only for TikTok. Because TikTok be like, you're off of this platform if you do not use it right.
Nah, I'm not trying to use that word. It's kind of gotten to the point where you say it enough, certain people start thinking it's cool to say, and you know it becomes a little uncomfortable to try to tell somebody not to use it when you're using it. I know I've certainly been in situations where I have been around certain creative people that were not, and you know, and they're like, and you're like, what did you say?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What you think this is?
Right.
Just saying that. Just saying that.
Well, man, listen. I want to thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
This is a Rogue Asset podcast, and we only have rogue assets on this show.
Yeah.
Rogue assets are people that chart their own direction, that have their own minds, that are not necessarily doing the things in the way that society wants them to do. They're charting their own territory. Yeah. So Rizzo G.U.N, thanks for coming out. This was a great chat. You know what I mean? Hopefully,
Thank you so much.
Further down the line, you come back and see us again.
Absolutely. I want to tell everybody thank you very much. Tell you thank you very much. And everybody who's listening and watching, make sure you follow me, Rizzo G.U.N, on Insta, on Facebook, on X. Rizzo was here on TikTok, and Rizzo G.U.N is on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, YouTube Music. All of them, I'm Pandora. I'm all over it. And also, I'm nominated for the best male hip hop and R&B artist at the Demrock Music Awards of Guyanese artists. And let's get that award. Take it home. Thank you very much.
All right. That's what's up. We out.
Peace. Oh.